It's your girl, brand new, and honey, I am back in the building. This time, honey, I'm back with a Real Housewives of Atlanta extra, honey. We will be talking about Miss kenyamoore and her interview she recently did with Mr. Carlos King, and we will be talking about Miss courtneyrhodes. She slams co-star kenyamoore. She calls her delusional. Where are the lies? Okay, where is the lie at? So without further ado, I'm going to play the audio of Courtney talking about Kenya, and then we will get into kenyamoore and her interview on Carlos King, because I have just a few things to say about her. Y'all know she ain't my favorite housewife. Just Kenya she's not Nene. Like, Nene's interview was just everything. I watched that mug probably about 4 times, and Kenya was just once and I'm done. It was a good interview. I liked some of the stuff she let us know that happened season 5 with the girls all banding together. We'll get more into that, honey. But without further ado, let's get off into what Courtney had to say about Kenya.
Just don't see eye to eye.
So there's a couple of things. Number one, I think that Kenya is a lot more delusional than people realize. And she really just, when she wants to do something and have a story and a narrative, she's gonna run with it. And
yes, girl, yes. That's that whole thing of, girl, you're almost 60. What is she, 55 years old? And you sitting up here talking about another baby, and you want Brooklyn to have somebody? Like, you need to just focus on being the best mom to Brooklyn. I feel like Kenya and Sheree, it's like they deny that they are getting older. And it's really unsettling. It just makes you give them the side eye. Okay?
And I think that her and Marlo are similar in certain ways, interestingly enough.
They are.
And so they're just like oil and water. And for whatever reason, Kenya has no desire to move forward with it. And so it actually makes it extremely uncomfortable sometimes. But that's what I think it is.
Do you think, because you mentioned like a story, do you think Kenya kind of acts for the cameras? Like, does she play it up? Is she the most different? Is she very different when the cameras aren't rolling?
I think that I don't really know her that well. Like I said, she was the coldest towards me from day one. I think when it's not about her, she's not happy. When it's like, she has this on the camera bigger than life persona. It's all about me, no secret. She tells everybody else how great and grand and amazing and fabulous she is.
Yeah. Yes, she does. Okay, I was like, get her, Courtney, okay?
And I think that Marlo threatens that, and
I told y'all that. What did I tell y'all? Marlo is not here for Kenya's BS. She could see right through her. On Kenya's interview with Carlos King, she said that Nene was the best opponent as far as going back and forth with a person and reading them and them reading you. And, I gotta give it to Marlo too, though, because to me, Marlo, like, really, I don't know, a few times I feel like she dismantled Kenya. Yes, it was rude, the mother comment, but she got her ass together season 9. She was just like, what did she say? Yeah, the fact that somebody's mother don't want nothing to do with him, that guy, it's a lot to be said about that, honey. That's how you know you evil and nasty. Your own mother don't want nothing to do with you. And it really took Kenya off guard. I know some people would be like, but that's so mean. And Kenya says and does mean shit all the time. Y'all just, you dismiss it. You don't care. A lot of y'all dismiss a lot of the stuff that she does. She dismisses a lot of stuff that she does. Because on her interview with Carlos King, Hell, let's just mix it all up in there, honey. I was going to do a separate section for that, but we'll just mix it while it's on my mind, honey. She got to talking about she experiences colorism. No, you are a dark-skinned woman, and you say and do nasty gutter shit, and people don't like it, and they calling you on it. You know, like, you can't play the victim. You can't call colorism. I think Candace Dillard, she could call colorism because she over there with Giselle and Robin, and honey, it looked like an episode, or it looked like the movie School Days over there where Candace is concerned. With you, you're just nasty. You're just mean. You're just bitter. So when people say, well, Kenya, you know, she doesn't want to play the villain. She's not playing the villain. She is the villain because of what comes out of her mouth. Well, she's not really like that. Yes, she is. She's a bitch. Okay. And another thing I didn't like what her interview is, she gave Nene her props, and that's cool. But she said she misses Nene. What the hell for? Season 12, you paid her dust. She kept trying to make up with you. You kept ignoring her. Even Candy, your alliance member, had to say, girl, she's giving you an olive branch. Are you going to take it? And you just, was, yeah, but, I just can't do Nene right now, and the stuff with Mark. And see, you're always hiding. But meanwhile, when it came to Tanya's situation with Paul, you wanted to put that out there on Front Street. You wanted to clown her. And then when people have different opinions about you and Mark and the dynamics of your relationship or lack thereof, then you want to hide in your room, and then you want to go and elope, and you don't want all these people at your wedding. You don't want the cameras there. But meanwhile, it was okay when you triangulated yourself into Phaedra and Apollo's marriage, asking them for a threesome. And I'm not here to give Kenya a whole bunch of sympathy about, well, Phaedra paid Walter. Is that going too far? Yeah, if she did do it. But I'm not mad at Phaedra for even doing that, because you were so disrespectful. You was calling Phaedra fat. You was saying, well, somebody husband strays. Well, he should stop texting me. Apollo is fine. You put your hands on that man, pushed him into a pool. You asked him and his wife, did they want to have a threesome with you? You are beyond inappropriate. And for your stands, the twirlers, honey, y'all dismiss and deny all of that. Some of these same content creators, they will drag the hell out of Portia. Okay, they will rip her a new asshole, especially over the Simon situation, right? But with Kenya, they will ignore and deny it. Well, Phaedra's just phony, and see, she just really came at Kenya for like no reason. No, bitch. It's a battle. Okay? You tried to win the battle, but Phaedra said, bitch, I want to win the war. What's good? What's tea? I'm going to get that ass. Okay, she a Scorpio. You know how her get back is, honey? Okay? And Giselle is not a star. Kenya was saying, well, no, Giselle is a star. And child, that was another lie. I felt bad for Kenya for, her mother trying to get her title taken away from her. I felt like all of that was very evil, very malicious. I told y'all, I don't see it for Kenya's mother. I don't like her. I don't like she sent Brooklyn a gift, but she can't acknowledge her own damn daughter. That is so mean and evil. And like, if you don't want nothing to do with the girl, don't show up to the family get-togethers where she's going to be there. Okay, like that is just so hurtful. So I don't see it for her mother. Her mother, treating her the way that she did laid the foundation for how Kenya treats other women. I like Carlos, y'all know I do, but I felt like he was just a little bit too biased with her. I felt like that. He didn't hold her accountable for all that shit that she did season 5, or season 6, and Kenya got to talking about how she slayed everybody at the reunion. Everybody's husband was coming for her. Yeah, because you were trying to disrespect their wife and they wanted to speak up on their wife's behalf. Even Cordell had Portia's back because he saw that you was trying to alienate and ostracize her from the group. With that whole... Hollywood theme. Y'all remember when she had everybody dress up? She wanted Portia to be Babs. That was to make fun of Portia. And then the running joke with you, Kenya, is you love talking about how ditzy and how cheerleader-ish Portia was when she first got on here and she dimmed her light for a man. Cordell, you did the same shit with Mark. You criticized and scrutinized that girl. Okay, you really went in when it came to her character and, how she wanted to be in her marriage. She wanted to be, this submissive housewife or whatever. Cordell was controlling. He didn't want Portia to really, have any dreams. Okay, he didn't want to make her dreams a reality. Portia wanted to be that girl. She wanted to, be on TV. She wanted to, do extra business deals that she is now doing. She has her own, hair collection, the Go Naked hair. And, she's selling stuff on Amazon. She got her bedding and, her sheets or whatever the hell she got. She's doing a lot of amazing things and he didn't want to support that. But yeah, Kenya, you ain't no better than Portia. You did all the shit that she did. Was flirting with somebody else's husband. Yeah, she married somebody else's husband, and that's really wrong. But we're not going to forget all the desperate stuff you did season 5 to be so unlikable. Okay? That's why people did not like you, because it didn't seem authentic. It felt like you was putting on for the cameras. And it was good TV, but nevertheless, bitch, you was putting on. Okay? Paying these guys to be your boyfriend. I don't care what anybody say. I do believe that she has some type of arrangement with Walter. The relationship was fake. How do you want to have this man's baby? You want to get married to him, but yet you steady flirting with Apollo. But yet you steady got your ass all on Peter and you was flirting with some other men in Anguilla. You wasn't single. Okay? You gotta own that. And I don't feel like Carlos really talked about all of that. Talked about the criticism and the pushback that Kenya got. She got all of that due to her behavior. And you can't say, oh, well, it's colorism because if I was light-skinned. No, you are a dark-skinned woman that needs to own your shit. Y'all can't call colorism on everything. Yes, I have seen colorism happen. I'm not here to deny that it's, that it's real. It is real. I've seen it. Candace is the one, in my opinion, that goes through it on Potomac. Because she don't even be doing all this evil and malicious stuff. She be defending herself and the girls be coming for her. You do a lot of evil shit. Getting that cookie lady in the front of Tanya. Meanwhile, your man Mark was cheating on you. Okay, you've made fun of Portia's marriage, Phaedra's marriage, but then when it came to your marriage, that was supposed to be off limits. That's why Nene got your ass together when y'all was over there in Greece. She was like, honey, your husband is twirling up out that marriage, him and his nose ring. I said, bloop, beep, beep, honey. Yes, come on, Nene. Okay. Let's get back into Courtney. But yeah, I was side-eyeing Kenya like, yeah, you really delusional. You believe your own lies. And it's really sad, Oh, and really quickly, let's get into how she treated Cynthia on the Ultimate Girls trip. And I see some people are saying, well, Cynthia and Mike was having a hard time. No. what Kenya did to Cynthia on that trip, I have had women do that to me. Act all of a sudden like they don't know me, like we ain't cool, when they get around other women that they are not used to being around. You don't treat your good friend like that. That shit is a betrayal. What about when she was questioning Cynthia, what was they, out in Greece or whatever, about her wines and stuff? Well, what wine, what food go with this type of wine, and why you don't know that? And like, you was gaslighting that girl. What about when you ruined that proposal? You told her that Mike was going to propose to her. See, we caught that. Okay? And then it seems like this type of stuff happens, guys, and y'all skip right over it. But yeah, you ruined Cynthia's proposal. Carlos didn't get into all that evil, all that stuff. I don't feel like he really held her feet to the fire and questioned that behavior. Okay? But yeah, ruined the girl's proposal because you mad she's happy and about to get married and you miserable in your damn marriage. Child, make that make sense.
Not comfortable for her, and so it just plays out the way that it does. And I think Marlo is going to defend herself and be Marlo, right? Like, Marlo is no angel. She doesn't pretend to be, and they just go back and forth.
Marlo's also having a moment with Kandi. They're not seeing eye to eye on things either.
They're not.
I mean, do you think Marlo and Kandi are more likely to kind of maybe patch things up at some point, maybe at the reunion? Or
I think they are definitely more likely, and I can't spill the beans, but as you continue to watch, you will see Marlo support Kandi with some stuff, and I think you will see them coming together, and it feels really nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Because like you and Kandi did get to this good place, you know, on where we are now in the show, and you know, this will air probably like 2 weeks from the time we're recording it, so anything is possible to happen.
Anything is possible, David.
But what about like as you watch it back and you're looking at confessionals? Because like this is something that happened recently. Again, I think of the past few episodes, like where Ralph had the brunch, and then you know everyone brought their significant other. You brought, you know, your ex Bryce, and Kandi knows him from I guess the music business.
Right.
And she then says in her confessional, you know, oh, he's such a great guy, such a nice guy. Like, how does he put up with her? I'm like, well, that's not a very nice thing to say.
You know what? It isn't, but that's a reflection of her, not me. So I honestly just think nothing of it, right? Like, if
I love that about Courtney. I actually like her speaking voice. It was a little bit annoying, like on the show. I don't know why that is, but on this interview, very like soothing, and you know, I could just listen to her. She kind of sounds like Corinne Steffens to me.
Talked about it, and we agreed that our argument was dumb. Like, it was kind of dumb and got taken out of context. And so, if you will notice, I chose not to because I legitimately forgave her. We're moving forward, and that's how I felt. I wasn't just saying that, and when I say something, I mean it. So, again, that's a reflection of her, not me. Be you, do you, say what feels, you know, true for you. So,
well, you know, if people that watch these shows, the fans, they like authentic, real.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like, it's,
you don't think so?
I mean, there's nothing authentic or real about Kenya, and it made.
Oh, I love you, Courtney. I love Courtney. Yes, I do. Nothing real or authentic. And guess what? She's a Nene girl. She actually wants Nene to come back to the show. I was like, yes, Courtney, I love you. Yeah, Kenya don't be giving genuine and authentic. There was something else that came up on Carlos King's podcast with Kenya. She talked about the seating arrangements, and it's not always about story. You should sit next to Andy if you are the star of the show. Well, Kenya, girl, they are telling you that you are not the star of the show. They are trying to tell you that, sis. You don't have the story and you're not the star. Because she complained, well, Nene always sat next to Andy and she didn't have a storyline. Nene is the reason why, bitch, you got a job. And that was another thing. She was like talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta, you know, when it first got started. Oh, it's not going to last because of the people that they have on there. Girl, them people paved the way for you. Okay, even Kim and her broke down wigs made a way for you. Put some respect on Nene's name, Deshaun, Sheree, like they all contributed to that. Lisa Wu. Okay. So yeah, I didn't like Kenya saying that, and then you end up living in LA. You're playing these same roles over and over again. Yeah, but I'm pre-Housewives. The girls love saying that. You could hear Candy, I'm pre-Housewives. This show made you who you are. You was not a star like that. You was an escape, and we knew who you was, but you wasn't Candy. You wasn't Kenya. We knew you as that pretty woman that would be on Martin, Jamie Foxx, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Kenya was that girl that did all those small roles and Waiting to Exhale. You was in and out. So I just hated when she came to the show. She tried to make it look like she was just, I don't know. And she produced Twa. Twa wasn't even that good. Like her and Carlos, they talking about producing another show like Meryl's Place because Carlos sees Kenya like Heather Locklear, and I think that that's a good idea. I really do. And I would be in support of them working together. I can see Kenya playing that Heather Locklear like character, right? She could do that. But girl, you a bit delusional, girl. You a bit delusional. But I will say this, Kenya does have a point about even Giselle always sits next to Andy and she don't be having the most story, and see, that type of stuff needs to stop. And I told y'all, Kenya is more of a star than Giselle Bryant. She brings more to the show, to Real Housewives of Atlanta, than Giselle brings to Real Housewives of Potomac. So if you may want to put some colorism up in that, I can get with you. But no, there is no colorism for all your bad Chucky doll behavior, girl. Okay?
Just be the amount of time that she's been on the show, but she is honestly the meanest girl I've ever met, not just with me, but with everybody. It's really? Like, and there's a part, it's so bad, honestly, that I'm like, get therapy, deal with whatever internally is not sitting right with you, because it doesn't feel good. I think it's not good for the platform. I think it's not good for the show, because we go into these scenes and we want to have fun with the girls, and it's just like there's that dark shadow. And
what did I tell y'all? I feel like Kenya brings a lot of dark energy to the show. I think she feels like she's bigger than the show. You were not called a villain, like I said, for no reason. It's the bad behavior.
We're not aligned with her or hyping her up or moving the way that she wants. It never ends well.
And if, that's kind of like characteristics of a narcissist. If they can't control you, if they can't disrespect you and get away with it, then they don't like you. So I've been around that energy too, Courtney.
What's like the most egregious thing you've seen her do?
I heard she talked to production like they ain't shit. How about that?
I mean, I guess off camera, because we see it all on camera. I think
when we went on that Birmingham trip, just being the hostess, and I mean, let me just make, for instance, Marlo she got on that bus when we left to go to it wasn't Birmingham. I think it was Birmingham, Alabama. I don't remember the town. No disrespect, but we got on the bus.
There was Alabama, and I know there was Portugal.
Yeah, so Marlo was excited. She came on in a great mood, and Kenya just ignored her the entire time.
And that's the same thing she did with Nene. That's why I'm not buying this shit about, I miss Nene being on the show. I bet you do, because you don't want to deal with Marlo. Okay? Marlo worse than Nene ass. Okay? But I told y'all, all season 12 and season 11, if I was Nene, I would have been pissed too with Cynthia. That was a betrayal. And her and Candy did align together to get Kenya back on this show. And I think that Kenya thought that Nene should fight for her. Why is she fighting for you? You already got Cynthia and Candy fighting for you. And then you wanted to create this fake beef with her online. And then you wanted to be against Nene, because you know she's the woman to be up against, honey. Okay, that way you can stay on the show and stay relevant on the show. Because I ain't gonna never forget all the olive branches Nene tried to have with Kenya season 12, and Kenya just gave Nene her ass to kiss. But now I miss you, and she should come back, and you're phony, you're fake, you're finicky. Girl, run away from me with this, okay? No, ma'am. And then you talking all this bullshiggity about Phaedra and how she did you so bad, but we've seen you take pictures with her, so... And I know some of y'all will say, well, she's just being cordial, or no, if somebody did some, bullshiggity to me, because she also said that Phaedra called her an alcoholic and said she had mental illness. I don't think that Phaedra called you that just because that business deal went awry, or just because she weaponized that and used it against you. I believe her behavior, season 5, to me was some of the worst behavior that she ever displayed on this show. And as time went, you also pulled out Kim Field's chair. Okay, we know you would never do that to Marlo, because she'll whoop your ass, and Nene would too. But yeah, no, Kenya girl, you are the one with the bad behavior. Well, she just kept repeating this. People don't remember what people have did to me. No, didn't nobody do nothing to you. And even with the whole Christopher, Williams and Natalie situation, you was all up in their marital business. You have something against marriages, but you thought that your shit was supposed to work out and it was supposed to be smooth sailing. No, karma is a bitch. Like Courtney said, honey, okay? That's why your ass over there slipping and falling and shit. Your ass is getting older. The universe, girl, is trying to give you feedback. It's trying to remind you, bitch, you is up there. Okay? And it's time to act accordingly. But yeah, you've said and did all this stuff to these people's marriages. You've attacked them. I don't care if the marriages worked out or not. You don't do that to people. You scrutinized everybody's marriage. But then when it was time for your ass, okay, when it was time for the tables to be turned on you, it was, oh, these girls aren't my friends, and I know they really don't care about me. And did you care about them when you had shit to say about them? Because she even talked bullshiggity about Nene and Greg. Girl, and I've seen another delusional content creator try to bring up, oh, well, Greg, he had cheated on Nene, and, Nene ain't got the perfect marriage either. How dare you compare Nene and Greg, who we have seen be consistent on this show? It wasn't like all of Kenya's relationships end up badly, and she is the common denominator. You got Matt that was crazy, and you was using him for the cameras. Carlos should have talked to you about that. You got Mark. He didn't even want to be on TV. You lied season 10. I just watched it. When Andy was like, yeah, your husband said that Real Housewives of Atlanta is a bad representation of black women. Kenya was like, well, no, he didn't say that. Andy was like, he told my colleagues that. He said that he doesn't like the show. And see, that's how her ass ended up getting fired, or she didn't accept the friend role for season 11. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you keep playing in people's faces. Okay? So, yeah, I think that seating arrangement at the reunion is a reminder, like, girl, the show can go on without you. Now, Nene feels like the show needs Kenya. I don't think so. I don't think they need Kenya. I think they need somebody that's real, somebody that represents Atlanta, somebody married or children, or hell, I'll take somebody divorced as long as they interesting. I don't think they need Kenya. I think that's the problem with the show. They keep thinking they need Kenya and they need Candy, and they don't.
In this little van, we're driving to Alabama with a group of girls. So literally, I'm sitting in the back with Marlo. We literally had to start a whole nother conversation because she just refused to give Marlo eye contact, to talk to her. And it was uncomfortable for me, but it was also...
And they should fire her for that. If you're not going to show up and participate and do your job or at least be cordial, get out the way, okay? Move, bitch. Get out the way, okay? You're fired.
Uncomfortable for some of the other women who actually liked Marlo and wanted her to be a part of the conversation, right? And that kind of energy continued. And then we saw Marlo kick the door, blow up, did what she did, but we didn't see all the little nuances and the poking that Kenya had done leading up to that point.
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you. And I thought that Kenya acted horribly. And I told y'all, she has a theme with treating the girls bad when they go out of town. Ordering, I forgot, what was they in North Carolina? Ordering all that food for herself and then barely got food for the ladies. Y'all know Kandi don't play that. Okay, Kandi went off. She was cussing and fussing.
And then now she's the victim, and Marlo is all these horrific, horrible things.
Thank you. Like, when I tell y'all Courtney is preaching a word, because that's what happens. And then when Marlo retaliates, well, I can see why. This is the Kenya stance. I can see why she paid Marlo dust. Y'all, she just so horrible. Fire her. She's not really a housewife. Is Kenya a housewife? Kenya wasn't even a housewife when she was married, because she just was not giving that. And then she sat her ass in that delusional ass chair. She was sitting across from Carlos King, honey. The chair is delusional. Kenya is delusional. I want to get married again. Bitch, to who? To the invisible man? Okay, shout out to Phaedra. That's what she used to say. I do not see Kenya getting married. She does not give wife. I'm not here to defend Mark Daly because I think he's horrible too. Kenya say he don't even be seeing Brooklyn like that. I believe it. I don't think he should be able to film Brooklyn for his show because you don't have a relationship with your child, sir, just for TV. Kenya also mentioned that, that's what's holding them up in court. And child, like, when I tell y'all everything she was talking about in terms of the divorce with Mark, it was so confusing. I was just like, girl, like, this is too much. Y'all have been getting a divorce longer than y'all have been married. It's like you're in this stagnant situation with him, and every season it's the same thing. Like I said, I just think it's time for her to go. It's time for Kandi to go. Sheree should have been gone. Okay, she's delusional too and stagnant.
And no one knew that Brooklyn was in that room.
Right. Do you think Kenya is getting a good edit? Like, do you think they go out of their way to kind of edit her in a good... Because you didn't see all that. You're right.
No, I don't know. I'm going to say keep watching. I don't necessarily think so as the season progresses, because I think it became impossible not to present how she was showing up.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What about, since we're on the topic, Nene just did this interview with Carlos King.
Oh, right. I heard about it. Have you listened to it?
So first of all, we love our Carlos King here behind the
It's
rope.
nice.
He's been on this show many times.
Awesome.
I've been on his show many times.
Awesome.
I've listened to a lot of clips of it.
Okay.
So, one thing Nene has said is that, like, Kenya, whether you like her or not, she's needed for the show. Would you agree with that?
I would not agree with that. I think that Kenya has had a long-standing role on the show, so she's developed fans, and it's just simple math, right? Like, over time, the people who relate to you, resonate with you, you're going to have that. You put another strong personality in there, a Portia, no one's going to...
Oh, do y'all agree with that? Do y'all think that Portia needs to come back? I just want somebody new. I don't need to hear how, how Portia, how she, how she stole that lady's husband, honey. You can't steal nobody, honey. So I think it's funny when people say that, but I'm not interested in Portia no more either. Like, I don't think she could save things. I think she would make things more interesting, but like, I'm just sick of the old girls. I am. I just want somebody new in there. What y'all think?
Miss Kenya, right? Like, so it's just having a strong lead that's good for television. I think if you put someone in there that's more fun and more willing to make fun environments, yes, the fun shade is cool, having conflict, but the key to me in real life is you have conflict with your friend group, but then you move on.
Right, you resolve things, and Kenya holds on to things. Kandi does that. Look at the situation with Phaedra. You're holding up the show. Now we have to cater to your narcissistic ego. It's just too much.
If not for your personal, like, even with Kandi, before I was totally ready to move on, I knew it would be in the best interest of the group and when we got together. So just the responsible, accountable thing would be to be like, you know what, you're right? Let's move on. Let's have fun.
I love that about Courtney. I'm really feeling her, you guys.
And so that's what I feel. That's how I feel.
Well, I think that's what Bravo and production likes too. I mean, I think that's what Housewives is. It's conflict resolution.
Well, there is no resolution with her.
No, it's not. She wants to keep, the bullshiggity going. Okay, so she also, you guys, talked about Ralph and Drew's divorce, right? Their pending divorce. So let's check that out.
No.
I mean, I personally wasn't shocked, but other people were.
I was shocked about the reason behind the divorce, but definitely not shocked about the fact that they were getting divorced.
And the reason being?
I think it's gonna, I can't talk about it yet. I think it'll play out. Keep watching.
Well, we've seen some coming attractions.
Okay.
Why, which we'll get into in a second, why weren't you shocked? Like, why weren't you shocked?
Because Ralph and I had gotten pretty close through our just discovering that we were a family, and I was genuinely trying to establish a relationship with Drew that was authentic, and it was very challenging. And some of the things that I had heard the other women say about Drew I was starting to experience those things for myself.
And see, that's not good, Drew. Everybody can't be lying about you. Okay, when you are the common denominator, boo-boo, it's you. And Drew seems to be inconsistent. I think she's a great actress, but she needs to focus on being a great person and be consistent and take accountability and stop lying and stop trying to put on for the cameras. I will give Drew this, though. She brings storyline to Real Housewives of Atlanta. She does. Because where would we really be without her and Ralph, really? Like, what we gonna talk about? Sheree and Martell and they fake-ass, treadmill-ass relationship? Okay, over at the Planet Fitness, honey. Okay.
And I just realized a lot of the depiction of Ralph from Tampa, like when I learned about what happened in Tampa and how certain things were filmed that, of course, never aired, and Drew knew where he was, and they were actually on the verge of getting divorced then, which is why he was in Tampa, and Drew knew where he was. And I was like, Ralph, why were you okay with running with that storyline? And he was like, well, Drew thought it would be good for the camera. I don't think she realized how negatively it was going to affect me. And he's talking to me. I was like, really? And so just as he's talking to me, I'm like, I just can't imagine being married to someone, or just Bryce and I co-parenting Jayla, and me doing something on national TV that's going to destroy his reputation, because that's her father forever. So you've got these kids, and you really thought that was a great storyline to run with. And then I started to learn more and more, and I really couldn't believe some of the things that was happening in that marriage. So.
And Ralph is not innocent either, though. He is a narcissist. He do be gaslighting her. He is mean. He's not innocent. Both of them, though, we thought for the longest time, I know, honey, the feedback that I done heard out in these streets, honey, about Drew and Ralph is they be putting on for the cameras. And they both do. And child, like I said, Drew can come back for one more season and then she need to go, because that's not reality. All these fake storylines. But I feel like their relationship being toxic, I feel like that's real, though. So I'm just saying.
I am not here to it's gonna all come out. So like I said, stay tuned, but you're gonna be pleasantly surprised. And I think when I was watching seasons before, I was like, Ralph is an asshole, right? And now that I know everything, I'm like, this is very interesting.
Well, yeah, that is what's starting to happen. But so when this whole thing happened, because that was Drew and Ralph's first season, she knew the whole time where he was in Tampa.
Yes. And there were, from what I understand, they filmed some of that, but they went with this storyline not knowing it would go as far as it went.
Right. They went with the storyline that he went to the stripper capital of the world, which is Tampa, which I never knew until...
I knew that because I lived in Tampa.
You did?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't think I knew that. And so you think that if it wasn't for RHOA, Drew and Ralph might not be getting divorced?
I think there's a possibility. I do know, I can't say how Drew feels about Ralph, but Ralph adores and loves Drew. I do know that. So much so that he will believe anything. He used to believe anything that Drew said to him.
Do you think he would call off the divorce if Drew called today and said, I've changed my mind?
Well, I don't think it was up to Drew about the divorce.
I was just going to say, I'm making an assumption.
I think technicality was whose lawyer filed first.
Right,
but
right.
I know that he'd been talking about divorce from Tampa, which was, they were talking about splitting at that point because of him. And I know that he was the one wanting the divorce. This time, they were working through therapy, and then something happened that became...
But he stopped going to therapy. So that right there says, I'm not interested in this marriage. I know everything. And that's how most narcissists are. They feel like they are way smarter than the therapist. They don't want to take any accountability or responsibility for their actions. They love telling other people what they need to do to change. Meanwhile, the same thing, it doesn't apply to them. That's what I see with Ralph. So I don't know, Courtney, girl, it looked like that's your cousin. You got his back, but both those jokers are wrong.
Well, I mean, we've seen it in the mid-season trailer of, she apparently Drew is rumored to have had an affair with this female basketball player, Ty. Allegedly, yes.
Yeah, yes, allegedly.
I mean, that is public, and that we've seen with our own eyes. When they said still this season. I think we're going to see some more.
Some more. You may actually even see Ty on camera with Drew, which will be interesting.
That'll be
that will be very interesting, honey. Ooh, child. Come on, Courtney, and spill the tea, girl.
Interesting. Which, again, this is coming out 2 weeks from now, so, I mean, we might have seen more by the time everyone's listening to this.
And before I end this video, I think I talked about Kenyamoore said that Nene may have built the house, but now that house is foreclosed on. To me, that was so tired. Yeah, she built the house, but the same way that they all had to band together and say that, it was unfair that the group was, accommodating Kim Zolciak, and they felt like she was getting preferential treatment, and there was a lot of favoritism. And why? Racism. Okay, because it was because she was white. That's not right. And that's the same thing that's going on now with Nene. Shout out to Jessie Woo. I love her. My cancer sister, honey. Okay, I love her. What she say? This is Black Women's. Oh, not the Tisha voice, honey. That's coming out. This is a Black Women's History Month. I love Jessie Woo. So talented, beautiful, can sing her butt off. But she stood 10 toes down with Nene, deserving fair treatment. She deserves fair pay. So, yeah, like, Kenya, you and Candy, y'all are on a sinking ship. The show is not getting better. It's getting worse. You don't care because as long as you're making a certain amount of money every season, you don't care. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't get too comfortable because shit, if you ain't sitting next to Andy, there's a reason for that. Okay, because Kenya has been there long enough, her and Candy, to be sitting next to Andy every season. Get out of here with Sheree. Like, what does she bring? Nothing. She ain't bringing what Kenya and Candy bring, which to me ain't a whole bunch of nothing, but they doing more than Sheree, if you know what I mean. Do you see what I'm saying? That is confusing. Okay, so yeah, I'm kind of with Kenya with the seating arrangements. Like, I don't understand how they do that. But girl, yeah, you are on a sinking ship. Okay. Oh, I did agree with what Kenya said about Aunt Lori. I was mad at Aunt Lori too. I think it was season 9 when she went to get an answer from her mother. I'm thinking that's 9, you guys. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, a lot of people didn't like Aunt Lori after that because even though Kenya is a grown woman, she still was the child in the situation, and how that mother did her and is so wrong. Kenya, to me, has a right to get the answers she needs from her mother. But Kenya, after a while, you have to let it go. I know it's hard, but I would let it go. Just look at it as, she's not worthy of being in your life. She's not capable. Keisha Cole got a song called Incapable, honey. Yeah, she's incapable of being a part of your life, being a positive influence to you. She's incapable of being, proud of you. You did win a prestigious title. So for her to try to sabotage that and call in and, say, spread lies about her own daughter, that is it's just a true testament to her character, and you don't want to be bothered with somebody that's like that. Like I said, guys, we have to get realistic about life and how people is treating us, whether it be your mother, your father, your brother, your cousin. If they are no good, for you, then that's what it is, okay? Trust the feedback that the universe is trying to give you, honey, about that person, okay? All right, you guys, that's all I have to say about all of that, honey. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about this here video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am your girl, brand new, and I will check you guys out in the next video.